Welcome back, everybody, to our Dragonlance game. We are returning to our table after having party wiped in our last session. Unfortunately, we saw some beloved characters take one too many arrows to the knee, and they have since moved on onto other planes of existence. But some of our players have managed to survive their encounter, being taken captive by the Red Dragon army forces and hauled off to God only knows where. But thanks to their own individual ingenuities, or perhaps some favorable twisting of fate, they have been able to slip those bonds and return to Calaman to continue the fight. Some of us will be returning with new characters eager to prove themselves or to stand against the evil forces arraying themselves against the free peoples. Either way, we will be learning about what happened to our surviving heroes and meeting our new ones at the table along with Darrett, who is debriefing them and welcoming them into the special agent program, the one that Calaman has initiated to help more quickly respond to the threats of the Red Dragon army. And that is where we are resuming our session with both old and new heroes assembled around a table with a map of Calaman drawn across it, with Darrett Highwater looking over these new and old faces with grim determination. Welcome back, everyone. And it is now that we will see Darrett turn his attention towards one of our familiar faces, to Srag.
Oh no.
Thrag, I know you've been here at least a little over a week recovering from your last mission, and I have been unable to speak to you personally until now. But I was hoping to be able to hear from you personally what happened.
Oh, it hurts to blink. Thrag has a massive gash on a scar on his face, like a huge slash.
Yes, you do appear to be worse for wear since the last time we spoke.
Yes, I'm not sure why I'm even alive, but... Well, I'm assuming you already know. I believe Elquin is no longer with us.
Yeah, his face will turn solemn as he reflects on the reports that he must have read. I did read as much. I had no idea what you all were about to face was going to be so, I guess, deadly.
In truth, we were far too arrogant. We approached recklessly. They were well-trained, seasoned soldiers. True knights of the Dragon Queen's army.
That does seem to run contrary to what reports I had at the time. We had been attributing their manpower to mere banditry, but to hear that they were so formally trained, or formidably trained rather, it was a bit of a surprise even to the marshal when we read those reports.
Yes. We slew many of them, but in the end, their strange powers they were emitted from their weapons, we were no match for them. After a while, damage began building up, and each one of us fell one after the other. I know Elquin was the first to fall. After that, Laffy, and then all went black for me. I cannot say what happened to our dear friend Nimoy, but I guess I'd pause for a second.
Right.
So what happens with Nimoy?
So I think while we were captured, I think Nimoy contrary to how he had been thus far, you always knew him to be quite out for, not so much out for himself, but very much a lone dude. He's used to life alone. And I think seeing the situation that you guys were in, the moment that we got our sort of breakaway, I don't know how many words were exchanged, but I think he slipped away from you guys as soon as possible, and I think the only words on his lips were, "I have to go find Eldquin." And, wherever his body was left or wherever it is in this camp, I don't think it was taken. I don't know if it was taken to this camp or what that situation is. In my mind, it was back in the forest, and I think he's just faster through the forest, I think, than y'all, or maybe Alafi's actually really good at that too. But I just have a feeling, to make it fit thematically, he broke away from you guys before you guys could break away completely from the camp, and going back to the site where the fight might have been, I want to say Eldquin wasn't there. I want to say the body was gone. And Nimoy is gone as well. And they're mysteriously not there anymore.
I also kind of feel like Elafi would have let that happen in some ways.
Right, it's like a family thing.
Like, didn't interfere.
Right, yeah. Didn't try to stop him, didn't try to chase him down. Could have, but didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And where Nimoy is now, I don't know that Thrag would know, but maybe that's something you and I can talk about behind the scenes, Kyle. He's not in this party anymore, but I don't know if he completely leaves the scene of Calaman. I don't know with what happens he would be okay going back to his life before, but I don't think he would go to the city.
Roger. And that's certainly something we can talk about.
When you said that getting back to the site where Eldquin would have died, that Eldquin wasn't there,
yes.
Is that to Nimoy or to the rest of the party?
That could be to the rest of the party. If they went back to the camp, Eldquin wouldn't be there. If they went back to the site where we were attacked to look for Eldquin, because that's the last thing on Nimoy's lips to the party was, "I have to find Eldquin."
Okay. If Nimoy found him, I have a note to give you.
I think let's do that behind the scenes. I'm into that.
Okay.
Because I want to talk to Kyle behind the scenes about the fate of Nimoy as well.
All right.
Because with most PCs, which is fun, living PCs who aren't with the party, it is fun to hand it over to the GM as a potential future NPC. Who knows? It's just a fun thing to have in the pocket.
Yeah, and I look forward to hearing about what that sort of information would entail.
Next time we're in a TPK,
yeah.
Save us with Nimoy. There we go. We got one in the pocket.
We'll build an edge party of like all the surviving characters who left the spotlight,
right? And
then just forge them all together into the Expendables and just send them out to do something.
Exactly. This is perfect. We got secondary team. That's great. So yeah, I think from Thrag's point of view, it would be he broke away at the party, saying he broke away when we got out, saying he had to look for Eldquin, and we haven't found him since.
Yeah, I think he'd explain. All I know is that Nimoy broke out of the prison that we were imprisoned in, muttering something about wanting to find his brother's body, and I wished him good luck. He said something to Alafi, and I haven't seen him since.
Yeah, there's no way he survived.
Don't say that, Alafi. He's our dear friend, Nimoy. Ow, my face.
Well, I would certainly like to think that he made it safely wherever he needed to go.
We did not hear any other murmurs in the camp as we were escaping. I imagine I'm sure he made it.
Well, Elafi, you spoke somewhat of what had happened to the party before. Was there anything you wish to add? I don't remember if you made it back to Calaman with Thrag or not.
I did make it back to Calbed with Thrag.
Oh,
There's
good.
some delay. I made sure that we took a very safe route, and it did not at all delay whatsoever on our way back to the original campsite that we all were captured at.
There is a flashback of a Laffy dragging Thrag's body through a uphill through a field of rocks
In the wrong direction.
in the wrong direction. in the wrong direction. Yes.
I think
Ah, yeah, that's where the face scar came from.
She took twice as long to get to that camp on purpose.
Thrag said that Nemo would have said something to Elafi, but you weren't sure what it is. I think I know what it is. I think he would have told you, Elafi, if he found Elgun's body, where he was going to bury it.
Okay. That may come up.
That may come up.
There was a comical. Thrag was really insistent on getting the shield, Ispin's shield. There was there was probably an elaborate attempt to get the shield.
I think Nemo is going to try to bury him next to Ispin.
Oh no!
That's a quest in itself.
Yeah. Hence why Elafi said that, oh, he's probably dead.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because he's going to try to get him back into Volclair. Oh, man. Maybe he pulls it off.
Though we did drove him down the river.
I was going to say you would have to track a boat through the river.
Right.
Quite the legendary task, one fit for our ranger.
Perfect.
Now, Derek would turn his attention to the other two individuals gathered at the table. He would turn now to Jacob's character, and with a solemn smile, say, "And I would like to welcome our newest members of this little action team. Two individuals here who have accomplished a great deal and volunteered, or at least joined Calaman to help resist the dragon army's advance. The marshal herself chose both the individuals here, so Thrag and Elafi, I expect all of you to accomplish a great deal together, and I would like to welcome them to our party formally. Jacob, would you like to introduce your character?
Yeah, so you'll see a man in similar red robes to what you would have seen Elfquin wearing, but having the actual symbology of the Order of the Red Mages, or I forget what the actual name of it is, but from the Mages of High Society. So he has a kind of short black hair, goatee, and you'll see he carries the robes that he's wearing are actually a part of some like heavier scale mail armor, so medium armor, but he has incorporated that into his look. You'll notice he also has sheaths for weapons that are not present on his back, and he'll step forward in this moment and say, "Yes, thank you. My name's Frixus Ashcrust. It is a pleasure to meet you all. I come from the Mages of High Society, mainly looking for some research opportunities in this region, but the ongoing war has made that difficult to do. So I am here to hopefully expedite its end, and of course on Calaman's behalf. And yes, I am also here to partially observe our other friend here. And he'll gesture towards that's new character.
Yes, you see a very tall, very rare species of individual, a furbolg. I'm sure some of you either have heard of the forest folk or have met them, perhaps. They are few, from what I can understand, in this world, but they are not unheard of entirely. She is very tall. She wears. She has a thick mane of dark brown hair that sort of lays on the top of her head. Those big floppy ears that come out on either side. Has a very calm look upon her face. A very almost on the edge between drowsy and awake. And they are wearing fairly nice, very definitely akin to the clothing of elves, or the armor of elves, rather. She is in half plate, so fairly well armored, gold and white trimmings, and plates themselves painted in those colors. And you would also notice all about her, in different places, the longer you look, the more you see, is this infinity symbol, this sideways infinity symbol, sort of all over, sort of decorating her armor. Very, very cleric-y shiny. If you guys are getting my vibe. And she would approach and do a very gentle bow, and say, "I am Josephine, the healer of the Qualanasti elves. I am happy to meet each and every one of you."
Aren't you a little tall for an elf?
I was raised by elves. I am a furbolg.
I do not know what this is.
A forest folk. It is okay.
And it is an honor to have you here with us. Derek would say.
An honor to be here, Sir Derek.
Now, with introductions out of the way, the Marshal has instructed me to be rather urgent with this, I guess with this task I have for you. He unrolls the map, or rather a fresh map, showing the southeastern region of Calaman's Nightland district, or province, rather. He says, about half a week ago, Red Dragon forces made a significant push and have done something they have not tried to accomplish in Calaman's territory as of yet. They have captured a military installation, one called Wheel Watch Outpost. It is sat up in a hill on the border of Calaman's southeastern border. It was essentially built to watch over trade routes as well as a stopping point for military operations traveling south. Its loss poses a significant problem both for security in the region and merely for the fact that they have chosen to make such a direct military action. However, the Marshal is planning troop movements in the west in regards to other Dragon Army movements, which means we don't have a force significant enough to respond. So, we are sending this group along with another detachment to retake Wheel Watch Outpost. You will be serving as a vanguard or a supplementary military group next to another who will be commanded by Raven. He looks to Thrag. Raven, as well as several others of the Vogler refugees, or I guess we aren't really refugees anymore, but you get the idea. They have since completed their training, and this is going to be their first deployment as part of Calaman's military. Raven has been tasked with reclaiming the fort, and I had hoped that we would be able to accompany her. The Marshal agreed and thought that it would be beneficial to have our group working with her. So, essentially...
Wait, sidebar. I just realized something. Dungeon Master, when we ended our last session, stop me if I'm wrong, but I guess this might have just been retconned at the time. But did we not see Derek's master in a cell with us?
Yeah, we aren't running that because I didn't have the time to write it.
Oh,
so
okay.
You can treat that as player knowledge that you know she's actually still alive, but
Okay.
your characters don't know that.
Okay.
But Derek continues. Raven and her detachment are going to be dispatched today to march on Wheel Watch Outpost, and I would like all of you to serve as a vanguard for that. Obviously, you don't have a lot of time to prepare, but...
I have everything I need.
Perfect.
I should be thoroughly prepared myself.
Excellent.
Laffy, are you healed enough?
You're the one I had to drag back. Jeez.
Not after I had to drag you.
If
No,
you are
I-
in need of healing, I can certainly provide.
Healing. I've already been bandaged. There is no other healing.
Yeah.
Thrag has not magically been healed. I don't think he's ever been magically healed.
You have.
Is he
I have.
By me.
by
Oh.
by a Laffy?
No, a Laffy. I would get healed more, but a Laffy won't heal anything. It won't heal the scar any longer.
The removal of a scar is quite the task. It takes a while for such things to disappear.
No, it's fine. It needs to be there for a reminder. If only I had a mirror.
If you don't want it removed, a warrior's scar is quite the trophy. We'll leave
And I
it
would-
then.
He tries to get up. He's covered in bandages. I'm as ready as I can be.
Well, I was told you would be cleared for duty, but if you're still recovering, perhaps you would want to stay and make a full recovery?
He will be under my care, Derek. I believe that he will be in tip-top shape, now or when he needs to be.
I'm just imagining a Laffy just dragging Thrag to the worst possible thing.
I would never do that.
Just like thorn bushes and shit.
She's upset that I tried to ride. I tried to ride her like a horse.
Well, if you all want to undertake this mission, Raven and I will be holding a briefing at the gates of the city before her forces depart, and I recommend that you join us there.
If it will foil the dragon army, I am more than happy to assist. I will be
Excellent.
there.
Well, do you have any more questions for me? I'm going to depart myself and go to meet with her presently.
Phrixus, do you have any more questions?
I do not.
Excellent. Well, then I will see you all there. He picks up his helmet, and he marches out of the room.
As we're leaving the room, the Lappy leans into Thrag's like, I think these people are a little bit too formal for us.
Yeah, Josephine approaches in that moment. She'll say, I am quite looking forward to working with the two of you. You can think of me as a protector, a healer, and a stalwart companion to have. Please, feel free to rely on me in the battlefield if you are harmed.
Laffy and Thrag look at each other and turn around and whisper.
And Josephine just waits for them to be done. Just very patiently.
We will occasionally glance back at her.
She'll just be sitting there with her sort of dazed half smile.
We accept this for now.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Kyle.
No, go ahead.
Hey, Kyle.
Yeah?
When it comes to, because we have access to the kind of armory stuff here,
Yes.
what was the limitation placed on that?
Any light or medium armor, as well as any commonly available simple or martial weaponry.
So I could straight up get half plate, which is very expensive.
Is that medium armor?
Yeah.
Yes.
Then, yeah.
Indeed.
Okay. So, rewinding a bit, instead of scale mail, half plate.
Heck yeah.
Will do.
Of
course, I'm gonna flip back and just double check to be sure.
Yeah,
but
that's perfectly fine.
Yeah,
Because
that one is for sure.
There might be a gold thing, because that's like very expensive.
I don't
Yeah,
remember
these
them setting a
400
gold
gold or
limit. They were just like no heavy armor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, heavy armor is a whole. That half plate is heavy armor.
Half plate
It
is not.
medium.
Half plate is medium?
Yes. It is 750 gold though.
That's right. That is what I have. It's medium. Yeah, I was able to buy it with 5th level gold.
If I could find, I would love to be able to find some not metal armor, but
there's 5th
those-
level. Go ahead and roll it. It's a 500 gold plus a D10 times 25 worth of gold, I think, or something like that.
Okay.
You might
So
wanna
I
look it
rolled
up.
for level 1 gold.
Yeah.
And then went with that.
Kyle, is it safe to assume that did we get our equipment back?
Look up DMG page 38.
Oh yeah, you would have been able to retrieve your equipment as you escaped.
It should,
Okay.
it should be a thing right there. Yeah, 500 gold plus 1d10 times 25 gold.
one thing that has Lappy has gained is she has sort of her armor is a little bit more cobbled together because of being sliced almost in two. So she is still wearing the same armor, but like it is all patched up. And she gained there's a new sigil that she keeps on her that is a crescent red moon, but with like a crossbow handle hooked into it that she just wears now.
Okay, that's
Ooh,
cool.
Okay.
I like it.
That she had made.
Josephine would ask of Alafi and Thrag, I am well aware of Phrixus's abilities, but I would be quite honored to know and understand yours a little better if we're going to be perhaps in conflict with one another on a field of battle.
Sounds pertinent.
Yes, what are your capabilities? I have not been informed exactly of your ability, but I would love to know. Perhaps you, a Laffy? Yes? What is it that you do?
I can scout and bring the moon's wrath upon people.
Ah, so you are a spell weaver as well.
Of sorts.
Of sorts. Well,
Do I spot a Mage of High Sorcery symbol there?
Oh, yeah. I am one of those as well.
I should have known. Well,
We are part of the same order. Well, which faction are you aligned with?
Alright, I'm of the Black Order.
Ah, interesting. If you cannot tell by the cloak, I am of the Red Robes myself.
Trained a lot with a red robe.
Yes,
Somebody I would have known.
I don't think so. He's rather new to the
Unlikely.
order.
Sad.
I'm relatively new myself, but
Older man, blackish hair. Went by the name of Elquin.
Elquin.
Had a centaur around him a lot. It kind of stands out.
I may have met him in a library once or twice, but I didn't know him personally.
Josephine's about 6'7". How tall is Thrag again?
6
Thrag
foot.
is
You're
short.
6. You're 6'7".
Yes.
6'7".
Yeah, she's very tall.
If I
Oh
remember right,
my God.
he rolled for Thrag, and Thrag is like
I am 5'8".
Okay, perfect.
I am bringing my whole 5'8" self.
When Josephine comes to you, she'll put a finger on the tip of, because you have an axe, right? I imagine it's the tip of the axe, just like the point, and then she'll just go, I imagine you use that to quite effect, yes?
Yes, I occasionally will glow, but that's another story.
And I imagine that someone who can wield a blade like that is quite the force on the battlefield. You must be my frontliner.
Evidently not enough to save my friend, but enough to get myself hurt, I'm sure.
I have unfortunately heard of what happened. It's just small details. I won't pry, of course, but I am sorry for your loss. Truly. They are with the mother now.
Mother?
Oh, yes, of course.
Elquin was a man in his 50s. I doubt his mother was still alive.
No, my friend. I speak of Mishukul, the mother.
I don't know who that is.
You do not? Well, we have quite a conversation to have, you and I. Perhaps we'll save it for a little later, though.
The Thrag is duped to hear a religious pamphlet.
What was the name of the god there?
Mishukul. Mishakal. Pronounced Mishakul.
Okay.
So,
There's a
well,
chance he's probably more with Lunatari, but who knows?
before I may be even able to tell you more about her, I am sure that you will feel her healing embrace through my power. On the battlefield, of course.
I look forward to seeing this myself.
Oh, yes, Rixus. I am sure you will experience it, all of you, as well. I will spread her light in all dark places of the earth.
I hope to never have to experience it in all the good ways.
I understand, and I hope so as well. Much better to hear about her through simple verbal communication. Through Thrag, yes. Well, let's hope that Thrag doesn't get hurt as well. But if he does, I will protect him.
You're certainly tall enough to block shots, I'll give you that.
Oh, I can be on the front line if I need to be, but I am best suited behind those of strong arm.
I might be short, but my arm is strong. For
Yes,
now, hopefully
I
it
can
won't get
see
cut
that.
off.
I am quite happy to have a capable warrior on my side, along with 2 capable spell weavers. Well, shall we meet at the accorded place?
Yes.
Hopefully we haven't missed the introductions there.
Let us hope not.
Thrag will look at Phrixus and like whisper with Alafi, like just as aloofly as they did with Josephine.
We're not very good at this, by the way.
Or not.
No, I think secrets can be very fun.
We've been thinking about it, Phrixus, and we accept you, but we'll need to call you something different.
Why is my name not sufficient?
Phrixus is too long.
It's 2 syllables.
What
Yes,
about
but
Laffy's is 3.
Yes, but it rolls off the tongue.
There's nothing wrong with Fricks, right?
It's Phrixus.
Sure.
Oh, that's what I'm saying, a shortened version. Fricks.
Fricks. It's good.
I demand that you call me Josephine, my full name, please, from beginning to end.
I almost made a comment right before you said that. That I was like, Phrixus, it doesn't roll off the tongue. I'm like, and it's a little bit long. I'm like, Josephine the healer.
Ah, yes. My full name is even better.
Yes, Josephine is too complex to break down. Anyway.
It is true. The full name is, well, it must be said.
We could call you Josie.
Don't do that, please. Thank you.
It's just looming over Thrag.
Well, our party would eventually be able to make their way to the aforementioned briefing place, where in a guardhouse not far from the city's main gate, we would reacquaint ourselves with Darrett and also Raven. For some of our characters, Raven is a new acquaintance, while for others, she is a tried and tested friend. The 2 individuals would be leaning over yet another table with yet another map placed upon it. And Darrett would wave you all in with a smile and say, "Well, you've all arrived just in time. Raven was debriefing me on what she was, well, or rather how she was planning to tackle this formidable prospect in front of us." Raven will look towards all of you with a friendly smile, giving a slight nod to Alafi and Thrag. "It is nice to see you again. I'm sorry for the losses you've suffered recently. I'm sorry to hear about what happened."
Thank you. It's going to be a process, that is for certain.
Well, I am thankful that you will be joining us here for this assignment. I asked Darrett personally to see if you could help, because I'm not terribly confident with the task set before us. If you'll look here, I have a hand-drawn map of the Wheel Watch outpost, and I want to share with you what I know of the fortification. The fort is roughly 20.
Black.
It's showing up black. Ah, well, that's because something is wrong.
Oh no.
Because in my player preview, everything's fine.
Does anybody else see it? It's black for me.
It is also black for me.
Yeah, it's also black for me too.
Oh shit. Well, is it black for me? No, it's not. Let's see.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And there's black right here, but it's also black right over here.
Wow, that's some useful information. Thank you. Enable disable line of sight. That
There it
should have
goes.
fixed it. Okay,
Now it shows up.
perfect. So, she says the fort is roughly 23 miles southeast of Kalaman, and it was a fortification meant mostly to ensure safe trade in the region. There are 4 towers, she points to each of them respectively, that have been equipped with horns that sentries use to raise alarm and communicate over large distances. Unfortunately, we are completely unaware of the strength of the forces garrisoned therein. The previous garrison was completely wiped out. We only discovered that it had been taken when communications ceased entirely. So we do know that a small handful of individuals, about 8 strong, were previously holding the fort. So whatever force was able to overwhelm them would have to be significant. The walls themselves are strong and stone, and unfortunately, we don't really have a lot of information beyond this. I was hoping that if I could get your help, we would be able to approach this somewhat more tactfully than a frontal attack. Although everyone in my regiment is fighting for Kalaman and wishes to do the best they can, we are inexperienced. And attacking a fort with unknown enemy numbers is something I wish to avoid, at least in any direct manner. So, my plan, and I would love to workshop something with you here if you have a better one, would be for you to infiltrate the fort, ascertain the numbers therein, and if you feel like it is something we can accomplish, she points to the gate control notations on the small hand-drawn map. Open the gate from the inside so we can assault the fort directly without having to deal with the battlements. I think it's reasonably straightforward. If we can take the courtyard, we can easily overwhelm anything stationed inside. What do you think?
I believe that this is possible, yes. I have ways to disguise myself, though I'm not 100% sure on the others. I'm sure that we can come up with a precise plan on how to enter within once we arrive and get a better look at the place.
Me and Thrag are not unstealthy. Thrag is, but I'm not.
I am actually fairly stealthy. I am short and nimble.
I'm not quite good at being silent, but I am good at looking not as I am now.
I may be able to do that myself.
Hmm.
I could also potentially get a person over a wall. Yes.
Someone over a wall.
Perfect. We are departing, at least within the hour, and it's going to take my forces about 8 hours march to get to the fortress. So if you wish to depart ahead of time and meet us there, or accompany us, whatever you wish to do, we plan to camp about a mile off the fort and then plan our attack from there.
Always safer to
Or-
travel in numbers, but I am not sure exactly how Laffy and Thrag you operate. I am willing to go on the road early as well.
What do you
Well,
think?
we lost
Laffy?
our antisocial member, so
It's true.
Oh,
He was
literally
quite
lost him. Like, I don't know if he's dead. I just don't know where he is.
Yes, he's very stealthy. He is very hard to find. He is very stealthy.
you'll have to tell me more about them. They sound like an interesting folk.
He wouldn't appreciate that.
No, he would not.
Oh, well then their privacy will remain.
He would appreciate that.
Perfect.
Well, Darrett says, introductions have been made, and it looks like things are well underway. I truly wish for your success on this mission, and I look forward to hearing about it when you return. Best of luck.
May the Mother's light be with you, Derek.
And he will give you all a nod and tuck his helmet in the crook of his arm and head out. Well, Raven says, rolling up the map and sticking it into her belt. If you have any further questions for me, feel free. Otherwise, I'm going to address the men, get them lined up, and we'll begin our march.
To be perfectly clear, our part in the mission is simply to get those gates open for the army to be able to infiltrate and take the fort proper.
Yes, that is the plan I was hoping would work best. Of course, if you have any other suggestions, I'm more than happy to hear them.
I would be inclined to agree with your suggestion, outside of a full-on assault, which I imagine would be foolhardy of us to attempt. I think this is a good plan.
No, she will nod.
The squares are not 5-foot squares on here, are they? Properly.
No, they're 5.
Like the squares are. I'm just saying it's not reading as 5-foot squares. It looks like. It's for mine.
It is for mine. Let's see. So this is
Just check.
5, 15, 20. Yeah, no, it's reading
I
right.
guess it is.
It is.
Okay.
It's just 200 feet. It's not that long.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
Just taking some measurements as a. Also, as we start traveling, I'm going to check Druidcraft for tomorrow's weather.
All right.
Tornado.
Ooh, volcanic eruption.
Earthquake.
In general, though, I want to just do that in the background because I changed my spells loadout if it's going to be stormy in the next day.
Okay. Yeah, looks like the weather's going to be fine.
Okay.
Or I guess not looks like. You know the weather will be fine.
Okay.
How much do Phrixus and Josephine know each other? Not too much?
Not too much. The way I was envisioning it, he volunteered to help with whatever you're doing, because he wants to watch you perform your magic. He's studying, and he will have said this. He said this a little bit before,
Okay.
like history of magics and where your power is coming from is super interesting to him.
Okay, yeah. Josephine will not shut up about the mother. Like, anytime. she will just keep going.
My power is probably confusing too.
So Kyle, I went ahead and also adjusted gold based on the roll that I made for level 5, and then I did pay for the half plate. I was able to do that out of the starting equipment, so all good with that.
Oh, okay. You didn't have to, right?
It puts me along the same lines of like how much gold I had before too, so
Okay.
yeah, I think it fairness wise it's pretty close.
All right. Yeah, that sounds good then. Yeah, did I ever say when I checked on that information, it was essentially what we thought.
Okay.
Any mundane weapons and light and medium armor are totally covered.
Okay.
All right. So, was there anything our party needed to do, or anyone they wanted to talk to before the army marches out of Calaman?
Not I.
Not I know.
Don't believe I have anything.
All right then. Then
Oh,
we will.
I very minorly tried to check a library right before we go, just to make sure that the mother is not somebody evil. Like, just like curiosity.
All right.
I can tell you about her if you want to know. Ed can. I've had to read up on this god.
Oh no, Laffy's not super bright, so
Oh, okay.
she won't retain much.
All right. So we'll see. Laffy say she has to go to the bathroom really quick, and then run off to check the local library really briefly while everybody's just sitting there tapping their feet, ready to go. And yeah, our party will. Well, actually, that'd be a great time for Ed to let us know. Is the mother evil?
No, she's very much the opposite of evil. Mishakal is the goddess of healing, rejuvenation, compassion, childbirth, and motherhood. She is she's old. She's I don't know exactly the story behind it, but she is of three who have been around. I don't know if it's the longest, but quite a long time, and she's very much a goddess of goodness, of healing, of light.
So not evil.
You know, maybe with everything I've described, who knows? You'll have to,
You know, some therapists might say, depending on one's relationship with their mom, this could be an
This
evil
could be
god,
evil.
but
Yeah, you don't know.
generally it sounds like a relatively well-to-do sort of deity.
Yes, for certain. Compassion, love, understanding.
I do work with
motherhood.
the least evil of the evil gods, so.
Yeah. Mishakal, thumbs up.
So we mentioned during that briefing how many people were there, and I missed the exact number in the at Wheel Watch.
There were 8 individuals stationed at Wheel Watch, and an unknown number of enemy combatants.
Okay.
All right, so our party will begin the march out of Calaman along with Raven and her detachment of freshly trained soldiers. Her earlier commentary about the force's eagerness but inexperience level rings true. Although you detect a significant amount of enthusiasm from these soldiers as they begin their march, they don't drip with discipline, and they definitely have this air of inexperience about them. Most of them are excited to see action, and that is telling in itself of how little they've actually seen. You imagine that if this force were expected to assault any enemy force, especially those of us who have seen how well trained the Red Dragon Army's men actually are, it would not end well.
Oh, Nimoy would have much to say if he could see this.
If our party is sort of hanging off on its own, I would make a comment of, yeah, we should just probably kill everyone in that fort before they get there.
Are you that good?
No, but don't want any of them to die.
So too do I not want any of them to die.
My face.
This is a war, is it not?
From my understanding, wherever the dragon army goes, war follows.
Seems they have volunteered for this duty.
Yes, but you don't understand. This is from the town, right? Like these are recruits from the town we saved.
There are definitely a majority of recruits here that would have come from Vogler. You do recognize a few faces.
You don't understand.
You care for these people.
More than that. A lot of these boys and girls, they come from Vogler. We saved Vogler. We made sure they escaped. We owe them, I suppose.
I can understand your compassion and empathy. Perhaps we must
They've also lost.
Go ahead.
I said they've also just lost their greatest hero, the what was it? The
The
Slayer
breaker.
Benabog.
He's the Slayer of Benabog.
Breaker. Remember Breaker?
Breaker.
He's the
Breaker of
Breaker of
Benabog,
Benabog.
yeah.
Does he still have Benabog? Oh.
You know, for this person wanting such a private life, you make it more and more interesting to want to know more about them.
No, he does not want any attention. He's probably deep in the woods covered in mud.
I see. I will do everything in my power to make sure life is preserved upon this mission, but some of them may pass, yes.
Though you should spread the word that the Breaker of Benabog is an amazing person all the time
I will.
to everyone you meet.
The Breaker of Benabog. It would be advantageous for me to know more about them.
Oh no, that's all we need to spread.
Ah, well, I will be sure to enforce the rumors of their grandeur.
It's how he knows I care.
She just smiles and nods.
Well, to our party's great luck, the column nor our party will come across any difficulties as we march out of Calaman towards Wheelwatch Outpost. And the road on your travel is as quiet as the road east was for those who had traveled that way in our last session. There's no one walking outside. It is eerily quiet and silent along the roads. It feels like if people are really sticking to their own and not risking travel at all in Nightland anymore.
Did we choose to go with the army or alone?
I believe our party said they wanted to go with the army.
Okay.
Eventually, I imagine we want to go ahead and move ahead of the army so we can.
Well, as Raven said in the debriefing, their plan was to camp a mile away from Wheelwatch before the operation actually began. And your arrival at a suitable campsite will indeed go without issue, as the soldiers begin setting up their rows of tents in a small, secluded wood, roughly 1 mile away from where Wheelwatch is supposed to be. It is at this point that Raven will approach all of you, and we will see that the sun is indeed beginning to set on the horizon. Well, we have arrived at dusk, so I imagine this will be beneficial to us. If you wish to perform any sort of reconnaissance or to check out the place before the operation begins in earnest, this would probably be a good time. I don't think we will be assaulting the fortress until morning. If we hear from you beforehand or we see that the gates open, that'll certainly change things. But until then, we plan to sit back tight and wait it out till first light.
Understood. We'll do what we can.
Speaking of, now that we're here, what is your plan? Are you, if you choose to share it with me, that is.
We have yet to fully discuss our plan. We put out some ideas, but we're all capable individuals. Let's put our heads together now and make a decision, shall we? I have a disguise self spell that I can cast upon myself. I am a decent enough speaker, but I would need to at the very least have a mortal to go off of, one of the soldiers within. It sounded like Phrixus had something similar. We could attempt an infiltration of a charismatic nature, but that may prove difficult. Alafi, Thrag. Sorry, I gotta get off of Z there because I'm not Russian anymore. Alafi, Thrag, any ideas from either of you on a infiltration plan?
Well, the fortress is fairly well defended in the front and back. Perhaps could scale one of the watchtowers.
Yes. And once we get inside, what then?
Well, I imagine the smartest thing to do is maybe go into the keep, take out the leader.
Go straight for the head of the snake, you think?
Yes.
It doesn't exactly help the army get inside of the keep, and it would give away our position, but I am more than willing to pursue this if you think it would aid us. Disorder would be an ally.
Well, what we could do is scale one of the watchtowers and disable or unlock the gate in such a way that will make it easier for the army to come, and then deal with the commander.
Or we could just kill the sentries and open the gates.
There's that kill word again. I feel as though if we do that, we will give ourselves away, won't we? Or are you good at making that happen
Subtly
without
kill
anyone knowing?
the sentries.
I see, subtly. I am not, I wear a lot of armor. Should I remove this? It does not exactly lend to stealthiness.
I can help a little bit with that.
Oh! Magic. Well then. You have me, my interest piqued. If we can slay these outpost guardsmen and make our way up a wall. Once we're inside, the plan is then to open the door, not to slay their leader.
Well, once there is everything there, we should probably try to deal with the leader or figure out a way to just prevent as many deaths as possible from this company.
Okay, interesting. And that is also my goal, is to prevent death. Only reason why I'm posing the plan and perhaps poking holes in it, I don't mean to frustrate at all. I just want us to be prepared. Now, what if, per se, we enter in and their numbers are overwhelming? Perhaps 2, 3 dozen soldiers. That is going to be too much for the 4 of us. If we do
Fire?
so... Oh, what was that?
I believe that's when fire becomes an option.
It is a stone building, if I recall. I don't know how much fire would be of aid to us. My only worry is that we scale those walls, attempt to take out one of these individuals, and give ourselves away only to be evidently slain by an overwhelming force. Perhaps a backup plan. If we are to give ourselves away, should we agree upon maybe
retreating in such a moment. Rather than perish, of course.
See, this is the problem with last group, is we didn't come up with backup plans.
You see, that's why I am here. Not only am I, Josephine, the healer, as is per my name, but I am the preserver as well. I preserve people's lives by making a plan B to any situation. So, Phrixus, you were going to say something? More voices is always better.
Just that I do have the ability to have one of us fly for a time, and could use that to simply get over the gate and open it from the other side. I'm not entirely sure what manner of lock is on the gate, but I'm sure we can figure that out.
Well, it is worth noting the army did say it would only attack the fort at a certain time. I believe it was daybreak tomorrow. So we do not want to open the gate too early, lest it be closed.
Right. Thinking more as they're marching up, or if they're trying to remain hidden, if we can use that to our advantage as well. But
I like your fly spell. What if we had our most stealthy among us simply do a reconnaissance mission first? Get us some numbers, some heads as to what exactly we're dealing with and where they are posted. Then they come back to us and we formulate a more solid plan with that information. How does that sound?
sounds like a good idea to me.
Perfect. So
As long as I get a short rest in, I can recover my abilities.
daybreak is not for a few hours. I believe we have some time. So who would like to volunteer?
As I watch all of you clank. Literally, all three of you are wearing half plate.
I'm wearing a breastplate, not half plate.
Oh, you are wearing a breastplate, so you are slightly more stealthy. Okay.
And I actually have, I have a skill.
Are you
I'm
gonna be a
trained in-
flying reindeer? This is gonna be.
I have a +4 to my stealth.
Okay, your stealth is slightly better than mine, unless I cast a spell.
That's true. The spell is pretty good.
So it's nighttime then.
Yes.
It's dusk currently.
Dusk.
By the
How-
time you would get to the fort, it definitely would be
How many
early
hours
evening.
until yeah? So the army said it wasn't going to attack until tomorrow at daybreak. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we have a lot of time.
However, we do need to rest ourselves.
This is true.
Not
But-
necessarily.
When it comes to seeing at night, are any of you equipped for that? I
No.
am able to see through all kinds of darkness.
I cannot see in the dark.
I also cannot see in the dark.
Perhaps
That's what the moons are for.
Perhaps then we get this reconnaissance mission out of the way while there's still a little bit of light in the sky.
I have dark vision up to 60 feet.
Oh, perfect. Well then, our infiltration should probably take place when there's more light in the sky.
If even if we went now, would we not be arriving at nightfall?
It is true, but I imagine with opening the gates and wanting to assault the fort, we're going to want to time that up closer to when the army is approaching, yes? Unless the plan is to take this fort on by ourselves, which I believe the scout will be able to tell us what the numbers are in that situation. Anything above a dozen is probably overwhelming.
Agreed. Perhaps there is something we can do inside the fort. Perhaps some explosives or some form of sabotage we can do.
Perhaps, but that would require a scout's information. All ideas, but no solid plans. Let's focus on getting information first, shall we?
I'm just thinking more who is best suited to do the scouting mission. It sounds like either Thrag or myself, if it's in the dark.
Well, Laffy was speaking of some form of magic, which I'm quite interested
Yeah,
to see.
but that's more of a make people not see me than me seeing things.
Ah, yes, that's right. You have the vision issue. But I can only imagine those who are manning the fort might also need some form of light, so torches perhaps could serve you as well as them. Unless, of course, our enemy can see in the dark. A lot of unknowns, unfortunately.
Torches for scouts seems a little counterproductive to me.
Not for our scouts, for those on the fort.
Oh, I see.
I'm saying that the fort may be a light, but it sounds like the most foolproof plan for a scout would be Thrag, since you can already see in the dark, Thrag. That would guarantee it either way.
I suppose I can go.
Your bravery is noted.
I'm going to get another scar on my face. I'm
Um,
only 15.
Let me see if I can help you. Let's look at my spells really quick on this. How long do I have? Does this stuff last even that long? A lot of stuff I have only lasts a minute. Let's see, is there anything long lasting that I can give Thrag? I can. I might as well do it now. Since we have a long amount of time here, I'm gonna give everybody aid for the next, for the next 8 hours. So everybody gets 5 extra HP. I'm just gonna cast that right now. So we would just see light pour from Josephine onto the grass and the dirt below, trickle its way through to your guys' feet, and sort of go up your clothes, like almost like light snakes, and they just sort of go out from her, or more like not snakes. Let's just say like weaves, like just like going through, and you are all bolstered with 5 extra HP. And that's full HP, not temp, so you can put it in temp, though. That lasts 8 hours. I'm putting it in temp because it's hard to put it anywhere else.
Yeah.
But it does not work like temp.
Doesn't work like temp in that you can stack temp on top of it and you can heal back up to the full amount.
Make it 10. I'm going to cast that at 3rd. That'll be better. And that lasts for 8 hours, which is awesome.
Sweet.
This should help all of us. Just to give us a little extra life, something to cling us to this plane. I believe that is all I can give you in this moment. Warding
I
bond
also
is
have
60
things.
feet. Can't do that. Yeah, everything else I have is close, but aid will work great.
That is the thing.
What?
For fly, you have to stay within 60 feet
Of
for
the
the duration.
caster?
Yeah.
Really?
Or wait, no, flying
No.
speed of 60
Yeah,
feet for
yeah.
duration. Never mind.
You
never
don't have to
mind.
be from the caster. I don't think it works
Yep,
that
yep,
way.
yep.
Yeah, so it's fly, and it lasts how long?
It will last 10 minutes.
So we just need to get close. Well, let's get close then, shall we?
Sounds like a plan.
We'll see what information we can pull and make a more solid plan when our scout returns. Best of luck to you, Thrag.
So how many spells are being cast on Thrag now?
One.
Just 2.
Oh, just two?
There's 2. Oh yeah, there's fly.
Not yet.
Not yet
Yeah.
for fly. But everybody has an extra 10 HP.
All right. Thrag has a lot of HP.
All right, so our party is departing the war camp and heading towards Wheel Watch Outpost. It's a mile away, so it won't take too long to get into range of it. Now, I would love a stealth check for our group, because I'm assuming we're trying to do this without being detected.
Yeah, I'll cast my spell too since we're approaching. As we're approaching, it's safer.
That'd be good.
That
'cause
would
I
help.
believe half plate is disadvantage, right?
It is, and I have -1 to my stealth.
So yeah, definitely want that pass without trace.
Yeah.
So pass without trace would put me at +9.
Give me those rolls.
Still at disadvantage, unfortunately. But I'll take. Where am I? 413.
It's a +10 though.
Yep, that's. I
Yeah.
have a -1.
Oh no.
Not stealthy. She was very clear about that.
All right.
That's impressive.
Oh wait, that was with disadvantage. So I got the one. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Just double checking some things really quick. Okay. So, our party makes their approach to Wheel Watch Outpost. In the distance, a squat stone fortress rises from one of the last patches of green before the rocky scrubland of the Estwile. Its tall wooden gates are flanked by crenellated battlements and solid watchtowers. Torchlight shines through the fort's windows, and every so often, armored figures make their way along the walls.
Should we try to pattern out the patrols here?
That is a good idea.
All right. It will take time to observe the patrols. Do you want to take that time?
How much of our night do we want to dedicate as
Well,
players?
pass without trace lasts for an hour.
Ah. So don't want to take too long then.
You
That's a good
probably
point.
have less that with daylight left as well. Because it was dusk when you departed camp.
So we could just I guess kind of send Thrag to do his best without trying to pattern that, because there's not a ton of time there.
I mean, I'm all for just not sleeping tonight. Like, when will we get that negative? Like,
It would be after not sleeping for the night.
So
Because you
right
have
before
already,
we go into that battle.
Yeah, you've already spent the whole day marching down to this fortress, which means if you don't sleep for the evening, you are more than 24 hours without sleep, which I believe is that -1 to skill checks from exhaustion.
You make a con save.
Oh, okay. So we would make a con save then.
I say we take it just because, like, to waste, like, I feel like we have a limited amount of time to disable a lot of this stuff. And we're gonna need the night to do it, so.
It's fine. The first level of exhaustion affects skill checks. That's the only problem, so we need to weigh that. because disadvantage on all of our skill checks in a situation where we're. Here's the plan. Do we want to fight this whole fort, or do we want to try and like just get the mission done with the door open? Because that's the mission, to get the door done and like avoid like alerting the entire fort is going to be skill based. And if we're all at disadvantage because some of us didn't make the roll, that's gonna hurt a little bit for sure. I think if we're just going to plan on getting in here and fight strategically, killing guys in certain areas, then that won't be as worthwhile. I'm just looking at this from Ed perspective. If we kill one group, what's to stop like 50 guys from fucking us up?
I doubt there's 50 guys in here.
I doubt there's 50 guys, but when 7 dudes with 2 attacks each nuked us at 4, I am now in a position of paranoia. Like undoubtedly, like I feel like fights are kind of risky in certain situations. Do we? Because the army said it would attack at first light. If we sleep, does that mean we have no time to infiltrate this fort at all?
No, they aren't going to really do anything unless you just give them the reins. So, I said that in a way that made it sound like you had a limited time. What Raven was really trying to get across was, if we don't hear anything from you, we are attacking at first light.
Right. Let's scout, get information, bring it back to them, sleep, and then do our infiltration tomorrow with the new information that we have. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay.
So, looking at my character again, I don't know. I don't have much stealth, but I have a bunch of other tools that might be good for this.
Okay. The big mission here, from what I can understand, because we might look at this like we got to beat a lot of guys up. We just got to get that door open, boys. I think that's all we actually need to do for the army to be able to attack. And I think if we can just get one of us in there to open that door, then we could help with a bigger.
Unless the doors are complicated to open.
Unless the doors are complicated to open, that is true. So that is the puzzle here that we are looking at. But the scouting mission is going to tell us that. So the scouting mission goals, numbers of heads, we want that. What the doors look like, how to open them, we want that. Potentially where a leader is, if you see it. Like if you see a leadership person, knowing what they look like is probably beneficial. Anything else that we can think of. If you spot explosives or something that we could sabotage, that would be good. You know? All of that would be potentially good information to have. Entrances and exits. Like we can see what we have here, but maybe your scouting mission sees something secret, you know?
Right.
I think those are all smart things to do.
So the question is, do I actually go full druid on this to get him in easier?
You have wild shape, right?
I do have wild shape.
Do you have a small wild shape?
Sure,
Like a
I could be
bird?
like a rabbit. I can't fly.
No flying, a rabbit. What's something that could
Or a
like
cat.
Rat.
A mouse.
rat?
Yeah.
A rat, yeah.
A rat would be good for getting in. That's true too. Yeah, because really, this is a quest for information more than anything, and we just have to get the door open for the army to attack. And the worst thing I can see happening here is us being like, "We got the door open, yes!" And Kyle's like, "The army's like an hour away, guys." I'm like, "Oh fuck!" As they close the door, and it's like, "Never mind." So there's timing that as well. That's important. This is tricky business.
Yeah, I'm looking real quick for my limitations.
Yeah,
'Cause-
I would love to know, because maybe that would be safer than a flying lion man. I don't know how he's going to roll a stealth check in the middle of the air. I don't know what that... I mean, just being quiet, I guess.
Alright, my limitations are half a CR, no fly speed.
Half a CR is the maximum, so you could do a rat, a small creature, a tiny creature, right?
Yeah.
I like the druid sneak better, just because it is that situation. But we would have to get further away from the outpost though, because we won't have Alafi's stealth veil
Yeah.
in that situation.
Rats do have dark vision, so getting that,
That's true, and they're tiny.
and they're tiny.
Mm-hmm.
I like that plan better than the flying thrag. Do we want to do that?
That's a little safer.
It sounds
Safer.
safer. We should be safe. I don't know how you
Also-
guys feel, but I'm paranoid now.
Also, you could pass without a trace, and then wild shape, and then you would be super stealthy.
We are
Oh, yeah.
sleeping, so that would be really good for you.
Yeah,
And I
pass
can-
without a trace and a rat. Or I could just become a swarm of insects. No, I'm just kidding.
Ah!
That would be hard.
I could also give you the fly thing still, so
Yeah.
you could go in and still have that as an out.
Right, to be able to get out of there would be good. Let's bolster Laffy up with the fly. I already did aid. I believe the way aid works is it is going to be 10 HP on top of your normal HP, like at all times.
Yeah.
Beefy rat.
And it is full. It is HP, not temp, so it always comes back for that 8 hours. Your maximum has been increased, which is way better than temp.
11 HP rat.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm just looking to see if there's any other interesting choices that would work better.
And we could probably move,
That I would know.
10 minutes away from
As
the
in-
place to not be seen. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can, put on you. I know this seems like over-planning, but,
It's
adventure's getting hard, boys. So we gotta be good.
yeah.
I'm trying to see if my warning bond requires me being near you, so that's not happening.
I have too many things that require concentration.
Oh, Beacon of Hope is so strong. I was very careful to make sure my concentration spells were sparsed, so I have a pretty decent layout. I'm just trying to see if there's
Yeah, me
anything
too.
else I can give you. No, I've given you what I can for a long period. So I think we
Alright.
move 10 minutes away, ish, around there. Give you plenty of time to get there, not have to worry about stealthing us. You get in, figure out what you can, get out. You know the list of things we're looking for: door, numbers, leaders, sabotage, exits, and entrances.
Pretty much.
One other animal choice I want to look at as a option.
A flying fish! I can't be flying!
Oh, rat's better than weasel.
A rat would also make sense.
Weasel has stealth advantages over the rat, but the rat has dark vision.
Yeah, I would say stick with the dark vision. Especially if we're moving 10 minutes away and you're gonna sneak up and transform.
Well, I was probably just gonna wild shape lasts for an hour or like 2
Right.
hours, so I'm just saying turn into a flying rat and
And zoom over, yeah, this is correct. This works
Just
fine.
float hovercraft rat for a little bit, and then you get up to the walls.
I just want to
Yeah.
make sure we're far enough away. And then, contingency plan for if you get captured, which
Yes.
Josephine would bring up.
Laffy, you need to give us a warning sign if you're captured. Some kind of noise.
She's going to be too far away. We don't want to be right next to this outpost Because if she leaves, then we all have to roll new stealth checks or deal with our. I got a 4, guys. Let's just talk about.
The contingency plan is if this goes wrong, is there suddenly is a thunderstorm above them because I'm gonna be fighting for my life.
Okay, yeah. A thunderstorm. Let's just be like 5 minutes away from the thing then. Let's not be too far away, but within sight, but not close enough to be noticed or have to make intense stealth rolls.
Sounds like a plan.
Yes, I am quite comfortable with this.
Oh man, wish weasels could see in the dark.
I know, man. You want that stealth, that weasel stealth.
Look at all the classic tiny animals.
Just be a flying rat. Wait, be a bat.
Can't fly.
Can't fly.
Oh, that's right. You're not high enough level yet. If you were a beast druid, you could.
No, flying is a hard limit one. If you level 8.
Yeah, you got to get to a certain level, no matter what. All right, pick up the rat form. have Frixus cast a spell and away.
So when Frixus goes to do that, he also, prior to that, he kind of does a hand wave, and a longsword appears in his hand, and he, using that, ends up casting Fly on Olafi. And then he'll put that in one of the sheaths that he has on his back.
Awesome.
All right. So Laffy's buffed up and is so a rat now.
11 HP rat.
It's a very powerful rat.
There's a druid in there, so yes, a very powerful rat indeed.
So level 5 druid inside that rat, it can cause some damage.
And just as a refresher, our rat also has Pass Without Trace on it.
Yes.
All right.
And it's got all kinds of stuff on it.
Okay.
Right. Which way am I approaching from?
Well, considering you have the advantage of choosing the time and place of your infiltration, you can approach from any direction you like. Your token is already on the map, so feel free to...
Oh, I see it now. Alright, if we're coming from that way, I would probably try to approach towards, like... Oh, I'm locked, I think.
Oh, yeah. There you go. It's off.
I approach this way and make my way up that wall and check through the crenellation there.
Okay. Perfect. So, let's see here. The walls are 20 feet high as you approach them, and would require a climb check to ascend. Unless you have a climb speed. Oh, wait, you're flying?
Yeah, we made me a flying rat.
That was
that's what I cast.
Okay, so a flying rat. Awesome. So, yeah, you can easily fly yourself up. What are you going to do, per se? Because these towers are... they're square, and they are very sturdily constructed. They have windows, which are arrow slits. They are 6 inches wide, more than enough for you to slip through. They don't have roofs outside of the crenellations, and you can see on the inside that there are people moving about, and it is all well lit.
I would probably go to an arrow slit on each floor. If there's only 2 floors, I would look in each one and see. I'm going for a body count is first. Like, how many people can I find and recognize?
All right. So, first order of business, now that you're doing this, give me that stealth check.
All right.
Guidance yourself. Guidance! Wait, how about if you cast spells as a rat?
I can't cast this spell as a rat because it has verbal. Oh wow, that's awful.
Oh no. Okay.
I don't know how
So-
I pulled that
Wait,
off.
could you potentially roll with use your inspiration?
Now it's already rolled.
I also don't have any inspiration. I used it to try to save a character last
Oh, you're right.
session.
Well, I guess I actually have to pay attention to their passive perceptions.
And decide whether or not they think a rat at the window is weird.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Right at the
So-
window is always a druid. Every time.
So you note that in this tower, there are 3 people. There is one on the first floor who appears to be standing guard, leaning up against one of the walls and occasionally looking through the arrow slit. On the second floor, there are 2 individuals. You recognize these types of people. They are human soldiers adorned in Red Dragon army attire, very much like the ones that you fought to less than stellar success a couple weeks ago. Both of them appear relatively alert and are looking out of the arrow slits, but you're able to peer in and see them both without raising any attention.
Okay.
You see that there is a ladder on the first floor that went up to a hatch that accesses the second.
You know what this tells us? You can't roll lower than their at least these guys' passives. So you're okay right now.
Alright, then I will drop to the ground and head this way and then come up and look over this wall here.
Okay. Yeah, in this moment, you see that the crenellated wall has no one on it.
Alright, and then I make my way down the crenellated wall and sneak in this window. Or look at this through this window.
All right.
Stealth rat flying through the air.
Stealth Rat, his main goal is to get numbers.
Oh yeah. And check out
Okay.
that door. Make sure.
In the door.
So, in here, you see that there are 2 individuals that are looking through the arrow slits, also doing so attentively, but you avoid detection. This tower specifically is built into the wall and doesn't have a first floor, so
Okay.
it's just the second floor.
I am going to, I guess, continue down this wall and look down at whatever this is.
The gate control or the courtyard?
I'll look in the courtyard to see if anyone's there, and then it will probably scurry down to the gate control.
Gate control. I like that.
Okay. So you see that the fort's courtyard holds several small structures with wooden roofs. Stairs climb from the dirt yard to the fort's west and east battlements, and to the north and south stand solid wooden gates reinforced with iron bands. Along the walls next to each gate is a metal mechanism with a prominent winch.
Can you see
Okay.
this one across the way too?
That one would be a little hazy, I think.
Yeah, I only have
assume
30
the
feet
dark
dark
vision.
vision.
Yeah. There is
Um,
torchlight keeping this area dimly lit, so you would at least be able to tell it's there.
It's there. So yeah, we've got a gate control for each gate. Nice.
And you said you wanted to inspect the gate controls after
Yeah,
inspecting the courtyard.
after I saw if there's people in the courtyard.
Right. There are currently 3 individuals in the courtyard. They are
Okay.
also wearing the same attire as the individuals in the towers.
I've got
One is standing near each gate, and the third is just randomly patrolling around the courtyard.
So I've got 3, 2, 3. Okay.
All right.
I guess if they're by the gate controls, I don't really want to get too close to those. Is there a way into this stables?
Be
You see that there
mindful. Go ahead.
No, you
Of
can go first.
horses.
Just, yeah,
For-
horses. You're a mouse, so mouse of the horses. You know that I'm sure Laffy knows that would be a problem.
Yeah, I just want to see if they have horses.
Got it.
I'm not actually gonna go in. I'll
Alright,
even
well-
use pass it. I can use smell perception. I've got good smell perception.
There you go.
Well,
Something with-
I will say that there are 2 double doors going into the stable. They're closed, but you're a rat, so you could easily slip under the stable doors if you wanted to go inside.
Alright, I will go inside just to look.
Okay. So, you make your way down the wall and approach the stable doors. As you are approaching them, it is pertinent that you mention that your sense of smell is higher as a rat.
Yeah, I have
Because-
advantage on perception checks for that as a rat.
Well, you wouldn't need advantage on this check. Just having that advantage tells me you would pick up the overpowering scent of blood. You can smell it on the leaking out of the doors.
Dead horses.
Maybe you gotta see.
Yeah, I have to look in now.
Okay.
Let's be careful.
Mm.
Some kind of blood ritual shit. What's going on?
Filled with stalls and supplies for horses, this stable stinks of large animals and blood. The ground is covered with the scattered skeletons of 2 horses. Looming over them, something large, red, and reptilian picks through the bones.
Do they have a little dragon or something? What does it look? Go ahead.
It is mostly silhouetted by the corpses that it is currently munching on. To see any further, you would need to enter the building.
I back out and add small dragon to my list.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good. Just go off the shadow, man. Don't get close to that thing.
Yep. Alright.
You snack.
I'm gonna head back up the wall.
Okay. Yep, you're able
And-
to scurry or glide back up the wall.
Yeah. I will jump the gate. It's an amazing jump for the rat. And
Yes, the amazing jump for the flying rat.
then I will check this tower.
Okay. In this tower, you see yet 2 more Dragon Army soldiers on observation duty.
Okay. Does this appear to be a cooking shack?
Judging from the stone furnace chimney, yes, this is definitely looks to be some sort of field kitchen.
Okay. I go and try to find a window or a crack in the door and see if they have a chef.
All right. Cooking supplies fill this room. Opposite a table covered in cutlery and scrawny carrots, a human soldier wearing a stained apron over his armor minds 2 pots bubbling on a lit stove.
Okay.
It is very heavy on pepper.
Okay. And then I guess I'm gonna scurry up this wall and check outside keep. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Peering into the halls of this relatively U-shaped battlement, you see that there are 2 large, lumbering Baz Draconians patrolling this space. You can also see that a large, what looks to be bugle or alarm horn hangs on the wall nearby one of them.
Okay. We're going to not piss them off and check to see if anyone is sleeping.
All right. Peering through the arrow slits into this room reveals a soft lantern light dimly outlining 6 two-leveled sets of bunk beds, which fill this modest barracks. A footlocker sits beneath each set of bunks, and you can see 8 people sleeping in these beds.
Ooh.
Okay. I think I have my head count. There's 2 gate mechanisms. We just have to check 2 more smaller control areas. Jump the gate and figure out a way into whatever this is.
All right. Yeah, slipping under the door and peering inside, you appear to have stumbled upon the fort's prison. There's an individual currently manning the desk. He appears to be wearing more decorative or emblazoned armor than the individuals you have seen thus far. And he is scrawling something with feverish determination onto a parchment, his quill whipping back and forth madly. There are 2 individuals in this room besides him in the cells. One is a disheveled-looking man who appears to be nursing some sort of hangover by the way he is clutching his head, and the other individual in the cell appears to be babbling constantly at him. This other individual is a small Kender woman who is apparently driving him insane. In the short amount of conversation you're able to pick up, she is insisting that he is her cousin and that she came to visit him here at the fort, and it's very rude that her friends locked both of them up in this prison and won't let her explore around, as is her right.
All of that in common? Any random snippets of Kender speak in there?
No, she appears to be speaking entirely in common.
Okay. Then I will check the last room.
All right, peering into the last room, you find what, well, unlike every room thus far, thankfully, an empty one, just filled with supplies. Judging from what you see assembled here, it looks like there's enough food and provisions for anyone holding this place to live for a month without outside help.
I actually sneak into this room.
Okay.
And, let's see, I need to check some stuff while I'm sitting in this room. I don't have anything that would do exactly what I want.
Mess up their supplies.
Yeah.
Would be beneficial. You leaving your form, as long as you can get back into it. I don't know. Yeah, if
I
you
can get
don't
back
have-
in by form. I've got two wild shapes, so.
Right. If you can, go for it. But if it's too risky, don't do it.
Was the door to the stable with the dragon thing, like, locked from the outside?
Yeah, that is a question.
That information was not tried.
Okay.
Or rather, we didn't look into that.
I will look at that just as a once I'm done with this room.
I was gonna say, if you're trying to cause chaos.
It's true.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody left the cage open.
Oh.
Yeah. So is food supplies mostly in here, or is there other supplies?
There's a great deal of varied supplies in here. You could search for anything specific if you wanted, but I would require an investigation check.
Is there any sort of bar or anything I could do to make the door just really difficult to open from the outside?
uh, it does open with handles, so you could try and find something bar-shaped to jam it from this side.
Does it look like it opens out or in?
Oh, it looks like it opens in.
In, okay. Then I guess I turn out of a rat and start looking for stuff to jam the hell out of this door for about 10 minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
Remember, the timing on fly is 10 minutes.
Oh, timing on flies 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Then
In and out.
for about 5 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. You do the best you can, hauling some boxes and provisions in front of the door, and do the best you can with 5 minutes. You imagine that it would take a couple people a few minutes to bash their way through the doors and push everything back in order to access the room.
Alright. I don't do anything else because now they're going to be searching this room thoroughly for the next, 8 hours after someone figures it out. So, I'm going to turn back into a rat, sneak out, check to see if there's a bar or anything, how the stable is locked or any other doors are locked, and then run away.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
cannot move all of a sudden. Why can I not move?
The map might be lagging. That happens from time to time. You can close it and reopen it. But that being said, inspecting the stable doors reveal that it looks like they can be manually locked with like a wooden stopper, but it is not locked currently.
Okay. Then I will
Dragon.
flee out of here as fast as I can and run back to the party.
Okay. So you are able to glide your way up onto the walls and out of Wheel Watch Outpost. Its defenders none the wiser that you were there.
Alright. And I,
Whew.
where's a pencil? It's like, we got, 3... Oh,
Yes,
we've got
I'm happy to see you have returned safely.
Yeah, there's 3 guys in one tower, 2 in the other 2. Keep has 8 sleeping, 2 dragon people. Saw 3 people in the courtyard, 1 person cooking. A guard, captain was watching jail cells. There was a drunk in the cells and a fairly quiet Kender woman. For Kender woman.
How many is that? Total? Those who can fight.
3, 6,
22.
yeah.
22
6,
and a
10.
dragon, you say?
Yes.
It is quite a formidable force.
It was
And-
horse-sized and eating horses. I'm not entirely sure what it was.
Sounds dangerous, is what it sounds like. And the gates, you said that there were ways to open them?
Yeah, some sort of crank mechanism, so those might take a while.
They're probably very noisy to activate as well.
Perhaps. Or maybe not. Well, that is all prevalent information. Did you tell us that you did something to the stockpile, or you leave that out?
I leave that out. That's
Okay,
just more of an
that's just-
annoyance for them.
That's more fun for you. Perfect. And that's 22 who can fight, right? We're not counting the cook and the...
We should probably keep the... I think the cook is included in that.
That was cook and other dude included.
Okay.
Or I guess it'd be 23 if you include the guy that's sleeping off his hangover.
Yeah.
True. Well, with this information, now we know what we're facing. Go ahead.
I should have brought up the individual that was sleeping off his hangover was wearing really dirty Calaman garb.
Oh.
So
Okay.
and he had a disheveled Calaman uniform on.
All right. We know the numbers and the danger that we're dealing with. How do we want to approach this opening of the gates?
I have,
This is where we need a wizard.
like I said, I have the ability to, obviously make someone fly. So was there one crank or two? Like, do you need someone on either side?
It looked like it was just one crank.
And was that on top of a wall, or was that in that courtyard?
They were in
looked
the courtyard.
Yeah. You can see him on the map.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Perhaps if we did the same thing we did before, and Alafi gets to the other side and opens the door for us to get in, at that point we can defend the door and keep it open. If we time it to close enough to when the army is coming, perhaps we can hold out for their approach. I only state such a bold act because it seems like none of us are exactly kitted for a stealth mission. Say for Alafi and what we've just done.
Well, I have a lot of things that I could use. I could disguise myself, go in there. I have the fly spell. I have also a way to get everyone on top of a wall, but we'd have to climb rope to do it.
Scaling of the wall is definitely a possibility. I imagine Go ahead.
I also have a darkness spell, which, while it's usually makes everyone unable to see, that would include ourselves, I am able to see through it.
Well, it's definitely a powerful utility. Perhaps then, if we go with the plan of opening the gate, letting us in, and then we hold the gate for the army, your darkness spell, how long does that last?
If I am able to maintain concentration, 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
I just forgot that I can cast invisibility.
Oh, great. Wonderful.
Oh my god.
Well,
I could have been an invisible flying rat.
Oh, if you can cast invisibility, you could invisibly fly to the other side, or somebody could, and potentially open the gates while invisible.
It's true.
this is true. Time it up with the army approaching, and it won't require any of us to stand our ground or whatever other dangerous things we can put ourselves in.
Indeed.
I have to look up the triggers to turn off invisibility.
Also, if you find yourself in a need to jump off of a wall tomorrow, I do also have Featherfall.
This is true. Your pass without a trace spell. What is the range on that, Alafi?
30 feet.
30 feet. If you get us up to the wall, all of us together, without being noticed, and simply go to the other side to open the door, perhaps we can do all that without being seen as a group. Honestly, if you turn into a rat...
Opening the door will take a while.
Well, we would be shrouded by your magic. I imagine it can't take too long. It does need to open and close for their daily business. Can't be more than a few minutes.
Yeah, but a few minutes is a long time.
It's true. Do you have a silence spell by any chance, Frixus?
I do not.
I do not either.
Oh, that would have come into use. Darn. Well, I'm open to other ideas. Please don't let me be the only one to formulate our plans.
If we could get everyone up to the wall without being spotted...
The
We
easiest...
could take one tower at a time.
We could
Or
attempt
hold
to do
ourselves in the
that.
tower.
I can get us on top of the wall.
Fighting is usually quite a loud affair. I imagine it would be enough to hear.
True.
Unless that silence spell, of course. That we don't seem to have access to.
1 second. We are about to spend a night, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I actually, because I'm also divine. I don't know if that's in my repertoire.
We should also report all of this to Raven.
Oh, we're of course doing that before we act. The army isn't going to move until daylight.
I am concerned with a small dragon.
As am I. I imagine a host
If it's
would be needed.
actually a dragon, that could pretty much wipe out all of our forces with the breath attack.
Did not sound very large.
You should have it, by the way.
I should have it? Let me see. Known spells. I do not. Oh wait.
Oh, it's a
maybe.
Basic cleric.
Let me see. I am not seeing it. What level? I have access to third.
2?
2.
Yeah, so the basics cleric list, so you should have it.
I have aid, augury, brightness, deafness, borrowed knowledge, calm emotions, continual flames.
Player's
Oh
handbook,
yes, I
basic.
do have it. I could cast the silence spell. Fortunately, that is within the mother's gifts of which she's given me. At which point we could get the door open, and that would allow us to enter in the easiest way, mind you. Climbing the walls, I'm not much of a climber. And as far as pulling rope, let's just say I didn't pass gym class in Elvish High School. So,
That does put a damper on other spells in the future. So we have to be careful of that. But if we have melee fighters, which would be myself and Thrag, we would be able to potentially do this.
I feel like
Let's see.
the most goal is keeping the door open. I feel like that should be our utmost goal. Perhaps if we were to knock out the towers, it would aid in that. I just fear that it could give it away, but I do have the silence spell, so that could be better. It does take away a lot of my magical power. I could cast silence up to 5 times, but it would limit my my magical healing abilities.
It's not a very big circle that it silences.
Well, let's see. Is it not big?
It's like 20. It's a 20-foot circle. It's like a fireball circle.
That's big. That's huge.
Yeah, but you don't have to be in that 20 feet.
No, I don't. No, I don't. So I guess it's a question of how do we want to handle this? Do we want to just covertly open the door and attempt not to engage, or covertly open the door and take out towers one at a time and help the army out?
We could also use silence to open the door without sound.
That's what
But
I'm saying.
I
Like we would
feel like
covertly
that
open
would-
the door.
That would be potentially noticed by anyone looking.
This is true, but
Silent, invisible person.
they would be able to see
They would
the
see
door.
the door opening.
Yes, they would see the door opening is the problem.
Now, what we really need here is an unseen serpent.
I was going to say, can anyone cast an illusion spell? Perhaps to keep the illusion of the door still being shut.
That is true.
That is beyond me. Most of my abilities are more combat focused, but do have
I almost did that.
prestidigitation is
I have a
the
different one.
I do not have any illusion magic, unfortunately. But I will prepare the silence spell for tomorrow, since it seems like it would come into good use. I guess we just need to make a decision. How do we want to handle this?
It's gonna be a nice day tomorrow, apparently.
That's good. For certain. Clear weather would at least allow our army clear travel. Thrag, you have not said much.
I am apprehensive. I do not wish to get anyone hurt.
Well, unfortunately, the line of business that we are in is definitely the kind where people get hurt.
Preferably more of them than us.
Preferably.
We should also talk with the army and see if they are equipped for a dragon.
Of
Yes,
course,
I would
we will
say-
inform them. I just think that we ourselves need that plan solidified. We must know what we're doing.
We can definitely open the gate.
So just that then. We keep the gate open when the army arrives, and we fight with the army when it gets here. Try and time the opening as close as possible to minimize the risk to ourselves.
It does put the risk on them of walking into a courtyard with a dragon.
We'll be there fighting with them.
True. The courtyard is also the worst place to be.
It is true, those men in the towers will likely man their battlements and either fire down or who knows. Likely fire down. I just don't know if we're well equipped enough for an infiltration mission where we do not alert the entire fort and get ourselves killed or captured.
I would agree with that.
We need the backup of the army to make this happen.
Be nice if we could take one tower, but I don't know how.
From what you've described, the back gate is both gates are fairly close to the stair.
Back gate is closest to the dragon as well, the south one.
It is true.
In fact, those controls are right outside the door of it.
So the northern gate is the safer gate.
For a stealthy entry, it is closer to the barracks, so there are more non-draconic threats.
Perhaps we get the door open, allowing the
Well,
army to enter, and then we take the towers as soon as we can.
Who had the sleep spell?
Seems like a thing. That was Alquin.
Elquin. We could have used the sleep spell in the barracks.
That probably would not have been very effective.
Yeah, sleep is already outpaced.
Yeah, sleep is eh.
It's
Sleep
good,
is
like,
really great at
levels
first
1 and
level.
2. Yeah.
So we'll get that gate open, have the army approach at a similar time it up as close as we can. Once it's open, we defend it or take out those towers.
I would say, yeah, trying to keep the gate open until the army gets there
Is the priority.
is the priority.
It is true, and we should definitely be on top of... How are we on ranged attacks? We could, once the gate is open, we may want to quickly eliminate those who see and can raise the alarm.
How small this fort is, everyone can see it. Both gates.
Oh, well, then that won't be a problem, then I guess, that we have to deal with. We'll just get that gate open, hope that we can time it to the army's advance, and aid them in taking the fort. Are we
Anything
all
more
in
than
agreement?
That creates a little bit too much complication, I think. So, sounds good to me.
We are all in agreement then.
I will go with this plan.
And if we
That's
are...
good.
as a plan B, if the army does not arrive on time and we are assaulted by too many, run. Yes?
Sounds like a good plan.
Perfect.
Seeing as I believe 22 of these fellows is a little beyond us. And a dragon.
I believe you are right.
That's why we have backup.
Yes. Well, let's go inform the army of what we have learned and what our plan is so we can line everything up perfectly.
This is why we should have had a party of 4 rogues.
Only one of us was of
I-
the stealthy persuasion.
Almost rolled a rogue.
Damn it. Okay, perfect. Slit everything's throat one at a time.
All right. So, meeting with Raven and sharing this information with her, you would see her face darken a good bit at the mention of dragon. Although we have some ranged tools, I don't think we have anything to bring down a full dragon.
It's little.
We should fight the dragon, while the army handles the rest of the garrison.
It's also probably sleeping off horse.
Of course.
Concerning imagery there, but Alright, if you think you can deal with this draconic threat, surely the rest can be handled by us.
I think
And
that's
we
although-
did fine with the last dragon we ran into. Then
That's
it
fair.
exploded.
You fought a dragon before. You will have to tell me about it.
It exploded.
That's not. It wasn't a real. It was something made like a contraption.
And I was there, I can attest.
Well, this sounds like an interesting tale. To be told over a campfire, no less.
Do your people...
We survived due to a breaker of Benerbog. And him.
It's Breaker of Benabog again.
He is
I gestured towards Jared too. Where I'm like, and him.
Do we know, like, were we briefed on what happens when those things die?
Which
Because there's 2
Oh.
Baz Draconians at least.
I would explain that when I see that there are some.
Yeah. Has the army been briefed on what happens there?
it's certainly something we will have to be aware of. We do have some limited intel about these draconian creatures
Could I tell what
dying
type
in
they
some
were?
extra unusual manner. What?
Can I tell what type they were?
Oh, yes, you've seen them. The big, hulking, like
Is it
wide
stone
mouth
ones?
Baz draconians. Yeah, they're the ones that petrify people.
That's the least dangerous kind.
I suppose that is fair. We do have reports saying that the effect does fade in time.
And as far as I can tell, Jared's immune to it.
Ah, well, yes, it would be useful if he was here. Unfortunately, Derek didn't join us.
Oh, Jared, I meant. Jared is immune to it because he was in the explosion of like 5 of them.
Oh yeah, he was pretty much snorting them, and he had no effect whatsoever.
Yes, he has a very rare resistance to them. What confusing.
Well, although concerning, we do have the numbers here to at least handle the occupants of the fort if we're not having to assault the battlements. So, getting those gates open is definitely the priority. And if you feel confident with taking care of this dragon-like creature, all the better. So, from the sound of what you were speaking of, we are going to lie in wait, and then you're going to open this gate, and then keep it open for us to charge the courtyard then.
That is the plan.
All right. We can certainly position ourselves around the woods near the fortress, and then, as long as you can keep it open for a couple minutes for us to charge the open ground, we should be able to pull this off.
Oh, and did we decide, did we want to do that one or that one?
The top gate, I think we were going for.
Fine.
We're trying to get close. I could use a rope trick to get us over, or I can fly someone over. We should decide on how we want to do that.
Or perhaps Alafi turns into that mouse again and Thrag just gives them the old heave ho.
I don't think I could throw anyone that far.
It's a mouse.
Less spell intense.
A mouse, perhaps.
The other thought is we just turn someone invisible, get them over the wall, and then in a silent spell they start opening a gate, and we wait for them to realize that the gate is opening.
I do believe I need to see the point of where my silence spell is being cast. It's the only thing. But I can just cast it on the gate as a whole.
Yeah, it's gotta stay on the corner of the gate.
Perfect.
That's good anyways, because it covers the gate that way.
All right. I trust your judgment on the placement since you were there. I will cast it where you believe is best.
Alright. Here-ish.
Indeed.
All right. So it sounds like our party has a plan. I suppose what that means now is, are we resting for the night?
Yes, I will sleep.
Yeah.
Rest with the army.
I will.
Alright.
I will, but I will be on first watch.
Excellent. So, our party will be able to sleep uninterrupted. You are in a war camp. The likelihood of something happening to you is relatively low. And you will awaken the next morning, early in the morning, having slept moderately well.
Alrighty.
You see that the camp has already begun to break and soldiers are assembling, preparing to begin the quarter-mile march to set up outside of Wheelwatch Outpost.
I will cast a new aid spell on the three of them. At level 3, so it's another 10 HP.
All right. Is there anything you want to do before you set out for the operation?
I do need to know how many spells are expected of me before going in.
Guess it matters how we're planning to get over that wall. Get Alafi over that wall, I guess.
Yeah, Laffy or Thrag. We
Or
can do either.
Thrag. At least a fly spell, it sounds like, unless one of them feels as though they can climb a sheer wall of their own athleticism.
I do only have the ability to cast 2 spells at a time. Total.
Perhaps we want to conserve that then.
But I have a few of my spells are not going to use that, such as the rope trick that I mentioned and Featherfall.
I wonder if my throw the mouse trick might be our best option.
That might be.
Or the mouse under the gate method.
Mouse under the gate method is also possible, I imagine.
A mouse could easily slip under the gate. You would have seen as much while you were walking around.
Can you cast invisibility, then turn into a mouse?
Yes.
Okay. Also, the rope trick allows us to stay in another dimensional space for about an hour. if needed.
A good backup, I guess, if we find ourselves pressed against a wall.
Indeed.
So Laffy will be going under. Well, let's start from the beginning. Laffy will be
Alright.
casting the
Visibility.
pass without a trace to get us all close to the wall.
Well, I think I can't do invisibility and pass that trace.
I would say pass without a trace would be. We're all hoping to go up here. We're all a little bit clanky.
Well, I think the advantage of invisibility is we can open the gate without a visible person opening the gate.
This is true. The only takeaway there is you have many people here who are not exactly the quietest at approaching, unless we wish to adorn our more powerful armor.
Oh.
We could potentially do pass without a trace up to the wall. I don't know how many spell slots that you have, but
Invisibility I can cast without a spell slot, and I have plenty of spell slots.
So you could get us to the wall, get within, and then use your invisibility, though I'm not sure how that will affect our state. I just don't want to give us entirely away, is all.
Yeah.
could pass without a trace to the wall, rope trick up to the top of the wall, stay inside, and then you invisibility yourself inside and leave and go do the gate thing. And then we're in an extra dimensional space on top of the wall.
That's a good point.
We could do that.
We can see out of it as well.
That is the most elaborate way to get through a gate.
I'm game.
I like it.
Alrighty. And I will need to cast silence before I go up into the...
Correct.
Yeah,
thing.
but
Alright.
that's okay. Pass without a trace doesn't care about spells.
Perfect. So, pass without... Let's just list our spells. Let's get it right, shall we? Pass without a trace. Okay. Up to the wall. Silence once we're at the wall. Rope trick. We go up and hide. Beast shape for Laffy. Underneath the gate.
No, I'm gonna be in the rope trick anyway, so I'll just jump out of the rope trick onto a wall.
Jump off the rope trick. Invisibility. Jump out the rope trick. Open the door. And then what? And then the army approaches.
Then the army approaches because the gate's
And
open.
we need to immediately then deal with a dragon.
Dragon-shaped thing. It might not be a dragon.
Let's
It might just
assume
be
the
a
worst
really-
and hope for the best.
It could be a cannibalistic horse.
You know, I want the dragon a little more now the way you've described it.
Could 4 level 5 characters fight a young adult dragon?
Well, it wouldn't. If it's fitting that Stables is not a young adult dragon, it's like a young dragon.
And we also
Or
don't have
well,
much of a
like-
choice with this assault because it's
Yeah.
either that or it murders the army.
Yes, I have fought small dragons before as a fairly low level party, like the mediums and smalls.
Mechanically, I don't think it's out of our wheelhouse. If it is, this is just a brutal adventure and we're gonna die every fight we're in and there's nothing we can do about it. So hopefully we can handle it. Honestly, it's the dice that can kill us more than anything. Good rolls, you can beat anything. Bad rolls, you can lose against goblins.
True.
So we shall see.
Well, if that is all that is required of me, I might cast this now. Doing double checking here. Yeah, I'm gonna cast Armor of Agathis on myself.
Very nice.
How long does that last?
I believe it is 1 hour, so I guess as we're ready to actually go.
And are we ready to go?
Yes, I think we have our plan. I think we know the spells that we're casting to get this gate open.
Okay. So our party will leave camp a little bit ahead of the army and begin their approach to Wheel Watch Outpost. Now, when is Pass Out a Trace going off?
Pass Trace will go off
Time it like close to the thing.
close-ish to the thing, but
Okay.
far enough out that we're not a eyesore.
All right. So we will see Wheel Watch Outpost coming into view as we make our way through the lightly wooded terrain nearby. It is early in the morning. The sun is beginning to crest over the hills. It is casting stark, warm light that is slowly climbing and filling the terrain around you with its warmth. The ground itself still lightly misted and dewy as you pulled up to the edge of the tree line and crouched down, looking at the fort. Torchlight still pouring out of the windows. You can still occasionally see a figure moving from within. The fort looks like it's just as awake now as it was when you were there before.
Okay.
Getting those stealth spells going?
The Pass Trace would be the first thing.
Excellent. You cast your spell. It affects the party. If you move forward from this point, definitely going to need that stealth check for the group. With less ones this time.
Yeah, I'm imagining we already talked with Raven on like, hey, give us like 10 minutes and then go.
Sounds good, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she says she will also launch the attack if she suspects that you've been captured or hears any sign of combat. Or hears any combat going on. All right. I see 3 rolls.
We need Thrag.
I hear you. Just trying to. I'm trying to do the modifier every time I try to hit 10, it gets back to 1. So. Come on. There we go. Gosh, really bad rolls.
Luckily, there's a +10.
Yes, a big fat +10.
All right. So our party is able to cast a spell. You've got your stealth checks in. What are you doing first?
I'm going to cast. Let me just see.
I will
here.
need to do the rope trick
First?
before your silence.
Okay. Do that first then.
So we're gonna try to sneak up to like here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna get my thing ready to go. This is where my silence is going to be.
Is there a way I can make one of those?
Yeah,
Yes.
right-click.
Right-click pointers, and then pick the kind, and then
Okay.
it'll come from the point wherever you're at.
Okay.
You can move it at the center.
So part of
Is the extra dimensional space within the silent bubble?
it will be, but
Oh, well, actually, it's only 20 feet tall. It doesn't matter. We're gonna be above it.
Oh, is it? Okay. Does anyone have a longer piece of rope?
Let's see.
I have
Do
a
we
50
want to-
piece of
Yeah. So I have a 20-foot piece of rope. So that would make it go up to be pretty much even with that. So I guess I could use that too. 50 would put us like way up in the air above it, so probably don't want that, huh? Okay. So we sneaking up there, and then Frixis will be essentially carrying a 20-foot length of rope during that, and provided we get up there okay, we'll cast rope trick on that.
Alright, after rope trick, I cast silence. Unless there's anything we needed to say to each other.
Well, we can within the extra-dimensional space.
True.
Yes.
Silence, and then we do the space.
Agreed. Best of luck.
Indeed. Let's all
Okay.
be safe.
All right, from within the space, I drop Pass Without Trace and switch to invisibility.
So, as you are standing where you are, let me actually get all of you on the map since we're, modus operandi right now. Your token is not your character picture yet, so you're still
That's fine.
Nimoy on here.
Just need a marker. Same with Eloquent, it looks like.
Okay, so feel free to move yourselves where you are. I
Someone
will
remove
say,
their arrow.
I will point out that Pass Without a Trace is effective for individuals, but as you're pulling the rope out, you will note that the rope is not difficult to see. And furthermore, you can see that there is, in fact, on the second floor of the tower, directly to your party's left, is an arrow slit. So knowing that they are attentive in their patrols, you know you have a period of time before your rope is seen just hanging in the air.
Yeah, so how the rope trip thing will work is that we have to essentially climb that rope into the extra dimensional space, and then we can pull it back in. So there is a window of time where we will be visible doing all that.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah. But then after that, we're in an invisible portal that
It would have
we can
been
see
better for us to come in from this side, over here. I can't click all of a sudden. Why can I not click?
I'm gonna guess there's eyes in every place, so I don't know that
Yeah.
it matters.
Yeah.
Just assume that they've got everything covered.
The reason that I chose that location is the proximity to the controls for the thing.
Sure. Okay, we're climbing up into this portal then.
That is the plan.
Does the rope trick make climbing up the rope any easier, or?
Climbing a rope itself, I believe, gives you advantage or something. That is a great question. And my
You can just look at a rope.
fantasy grounds is
So,
can always,
does anybody have
Have a knotted rope. If I have a 50-foot rope, we can make a 20-foot knotted rope.
I think just the rope by itself is advantage on check. I almost think it was because they scrapped it to be not minute. It's an automatic success climbing check, I'm pretty sure. Let me look. Rope. Rope of entanglement, rope of climbing. I just need a regular rope. Hempen. Yeah, it doesn't say anything. Just rope has 2 hit points, can be burst with a DC 17 strength check. Doesn't say anything about being able to climb it better. I'm thinking
For a regular climb.
I'm thinking about pre-gens that have said if there's a rope, it's climbable.
Okay.
That's just in my head, but I think that would be your call here.
I think it's more under the climb.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Okay.
Oh, under climb itself.
Yeah.
All right, let's look up climb. Climb, 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 climb. I think it's under movement. Movement, skills, basic rules, adventuring, command F, climb. Climbing, swimming, and crawling. If you ignore this cost, so climbing costs double. Just kind of looking around for climbing. Doesn't say anything about rope and climbing from what I can see. And movement, yeah. Special types of movement, it just says you're half speed climbing. You ignore this extra cost if you have a climbing speed and use it to climb. Yeah, sorry. Slippery vertical surface or one with handholds. Similarly, gaining a distance through rough water. Yeah.
So, I think what I would say is, if it's just a plain hanging rope, I will require an athletics check to climb it for people who are wearing armor. Because, I mean, I'm not the most athletic person, but I've never been able to climb a rope in my life. And imagining doing that with 50 pounds of gear seems a little unlikely without an amount of skill and or effort applied to it. If you want to make the rope knotted, I would say that would just succeed, because a knotted rope is incredibly easy to climb.
Let's just make it
We-
knotted then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got a 50-foot rope. We can make that into a 20-foot rope by putting a million knots in it.
Can we have done in that prior?
That would have been something you would have needed to prepare prior. I won't make you do that right now.
Okay.
So that is taken care of already.
All right, so we climb up into the portable hole.
Okay. So our players ascend the rope as quickly as they can and begin to pull the rope back up into the extra dimensional space. Unbeknownst to our party, and for our camera, we will see an individual sort of darken the silhouette of the arrow slit overlooking the space our players just escaped from, right as the last little bit of rope slips into the extra dimensional space. What would you like to do next?
I drop my spell and cast invisibility on myself instead.
All right.
Unless we think someone else should do it, because anyone can do it now.
Thrag.
All right, yeah. So Thrag is now invisible.
All right.
So drop down there and open that sucker up.
Yep.
Thrag will. Oh, I'm invisible now.
You're not silenced. Actually, you are silenced as soon as you drop down and do it.
Once you drop, yeah.
So
You
I
safe,
might.
Thrag?
Yeah. He gives you a thumbs up, but you can't tell because he's invisible.
I can't see you, but good luck.
So yeah, he's gonna jump down and start that process.
Okay, so you're able to jump down onto the wall. Now, the wall you are on currently is 20 feet above the courtyard. There is no ladder and there is no stair to get down. What would you like to do?
Can I use my athletics to climb down?
I would say, looking at the wall, it is a relatively well constructed and maintained one. It is not easy to free climb down, but
Let
you
me-
could attempt.
Can you hang from your arms and then drop?
Yes.
Yep, so that would be a 15-foot drop.
Yeah, I would just do that.
Okay. You'd still be within the silence. You're dropping more than 10 feet, so I'm going to give you 1d6 damage.
Give it to me.
All right. 4.
Oh, my face.
All right. So you land with a silent crunch you are in the courtyard. You are also invisible. You see 3 other individuals sharing the courtyard with you. One is standing just outside of the range of the silent square, next to the gate controls. Actually, I could probably add them to the map now since we're. Yes.
I love that we're all just like chilling in an exponential space, silent space.
Right. All right. So, you're sharing the room with these people, and you aren't with the group anymore. So I will need a stealth check from you.
Okay.
You are still within. Well, actually, Laffy dropped that spell to do the invisibility, so I just need a regular.
Should
Stealth.
be with
There's some
advantage
stuff-
because of invisibility,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it is with advantage. So, you know.
You should have. There should be some stuff because you're in a silenced, invisible.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see. Okay, let's try this. I have a +4 to stealth. Yeah. All right, there we go. That's a dirty 20.
That one, man.
Listen, it didn't happen.
All right. So you are undetected in the courtyard, invisible, in a relative circle of silence. What would you like to do?
I am going to slowly crank that soldier boy.
Okay. Yeah, you reach out and grab hold of the crank and begin to turn it. It moves less than an inch, and you hear you hear nothing. You just feel resistance. It's then that you note that it is locked in place by a vertical bar rolling through the gears, and there is a keyhole.
Oh no!
It appears you need a key to operate the lock.
How do I communicate this to my friends?
You're invisible and we can't hear you.
Well, we wouldn't want to hear you. You'd give it away.
No! Oh God, this is bad.
The best thing you can do is get back into the rope trick. Tell us the situation. We're all gonna have to get out, and we're gonna have to fight this fort to find this key. I think. That's what I think.
Wait, there's a guy literally right next to me.
Yep.
Probably doesn't have a key, but
Maybe.
Can I-
a look anyway.
Yeah, take a look.
Can I? I'm gonna.
You're
I'm gonna
invisible,
Look,
look
at
for
this
the
guy.
key.
I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look for this. I'm gonna look at this guy really quick. Okay. I'm gonna. Can I do a perception check?
Absolutely.
See if maybe he has the key on him.
Do it.
Of course.
Yep, you see no clear evidence that he has a key.
I had failed us.
He probably has it.
We
Oh,
can,
no.
We can plan B and just go back to the army and say we're not we're not suited for this.
We're not suited for
I think
anything.
I mean we are, but just not infiltration, obviously. Just a laughy really was making it work.
God, shit. All right, I use the rope trick.
You come back up.
I come back up.
Well, how do you
How you
talk to
climb
Kyle?
back
Yeah.
up there?
What?
That's a 20-foot tall wall, my man.
Oh, I thought the rope. Never mind the
No,
rope.
we're on the outside of the gate.
Yeah. You can invisible up a battlement and jump off a battlement and take more fall damage. But yeah, getting to us is rough.
This backfired spectacularly.
I know.
This guy has to have it. He's right next to us.
Either that guy or the captain.
This guy he has to have it at least in my mind, because it's like the captain's not gonna have to come out every single time the gate has to be open.
You're on a solo Thrag adventure. Good luck.
Thrag is the biggest himbo I know. Okay. He can't hear me, so I can't do anything to distract him. What should I do? I should
Do
just...
the classic video game distract.
You have a few options. You can just get out. You can just run away. And then sneak back over, since you're still invisible, to where the portable hole is. We can look out from it. You can... I don't know how you would get our attention because you are invisible. You would have to... How long does the invisibility last?
An hour.
An hour.
I think it lasts that long. Let me see.
We didn't put in any contingency plan for what happens if nothing goes on, but obviously we can see that nothing is happening. The door isn't opening. So I imagine at a certain point we can realize plan failed and back out, correct? I would just get out. But that's up to you. That's up to you, sir. It's D&D. Do what you think Thrag would do.
And attack without becoming visible.
Yeah, you will become invisible.
Yeah, I'm not gonna attack. If I interact with any objects, I become visible, right?
No, you attack or cast a spell.
Yep.
Those are the only two things that will trigger.
Can I move right? So this square is the silence, right?
Yeah, we're in
Yep.
the silence right there.
Can I be right adjacent to him and
Yeah.
sleight of hand him?
Sure. Now, I will say, you being completely silent and invisible doesn't mean he wouldn't feel something rooting through his belongings. So that will require a check.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I don't know if I have inspiration.
No, you don't.
I don't. Oh, does anybody have inspiration to give me?
No.
Brand
Okay.
new character.
And I already used
Alright.
mine.
All right. Sleight of hand, baby. I have a +1 to it. I'm not completely incapable. Yeah, I'm just gonna like carefully if I can just. All right, here we go. No.
All right. Yeah, you attempt a sleight of hand. What are you trying to sleight of hand?
Just kind of like maybe brushing his like I can't really see anything, but maybe if I like move like a buckle or something, I might be able to see a key.
Okay. Yeah, you try moving his gear around to see if he has any pockets or key rings that you can't quite see. He turns his head towards you, and then he takes a step to the side, lifting up his weapon as if trying to see if there's a bug or something crawling on his armor. He brushes at the pack area, the belt area that you had been fussing with his spare hand. Sees that nothing is there. He lifts up a couple flaps to see if there's something crawling around inside his kit. And then, upon seeing that nothing is wrong, lets everything hang back the way it was, and then goes back to watch.
Okay, and I don't see a key in that time.
No, you don't.
Okay, all right. The DM has given me mercy. At my 7. Okay. All right. I have stealth. Can't. I don't. That's the problem. I don't know how to get back up.
There's stairs. There's
stairs
at
right-
at the battlements. There's stairs.
There's
right
there's stairs right here, right?
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could get up, open this door, sneak around inside, and go all the way around if you want, or you can jump off the side.
Okay.
You said it was a metal bar sticking down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's locked with like a key.
Oof.
Wait. Describe
break
this
it.
metal. I was gonna say describe this metal bar. Can I, like,
Gotta use the rest
it's preventing me from turning the wheel, right?
It is held in place by a locking mechanism, yes.
Yeah, I want to try to break. I want to see if I can break it.
The locking mechanism is internal,
Oh.
but you certainly could try to break it. You're in a silent area.
Okay.
Make an attack roll.
But if I attack it, I'd cease to be invisible.
This is true.
It is true.
Could I just use a strength check?
No, you would be if you try to break something. It is an attack.
Okay. Okay.
You are hitting it with a weapon.
All right. I'm just gonna start making my.
All right. There's currently nobody on the wall. What would you like to do from there?
Can I open this door?
You can. All right, you're going inside. Give me a stealth check for quietly opening the door.
Okay. Come on.
All right. You slide into the room, and you see that there's a giant Baz Draconian lurking in the corner. His attention is currently looking through the arrow slit,
Oh, thank God.
so he doesn't see the door open, and he doesn't see it close, and you don't make enough noise to draw attention to yourself.
Okay. Just gonna.
Okay. You go into the next portion of the room, and you see at the opposite end of the hall is another Baz Draconian. He is leaning up against the wall, occasionally looking through the arrow slits.
Come there. There we go. Okay, I am technically in the zone of silence.
It's true, but I would like a stealth check
For what? To open the door?
to open the door.
I have not opened the door yet. I was going to say, I am going to time it so that when he's looking out, I open the door.
Okay.
If that
That
helps
would be
anything.
a stealth check.
That would be a stealth check.
I know. Okay.
All right. You're able to slip through the door, and no alarm is raised immediately after, so you can only assume he didn't see you.
Okay. So can I climb down?
You can literally step off the wall into the extra-dimensional space.
Okay. I'm just gonna pop back in here.
Like it's just a hovering portal that you can't see, though.
Okay.
So just trust it's there because you came out of it.
Okay. Okay. And so all of it, like I just basically walk up to Alafi and I go like, Alafi, like tapping her shoulder. Alafi.
Oh, he's
Gate's not open.
back, and the gate is not open. What happened?
Can you hear me?
Yes, of course. We're not in the silence. We're in an extra.
We're above the silence.
The gate is locked.
Damn.
There's a key. There needs to be a key. There's a guard right next to the gate, but I couldn't see a key on him.
is unfortunate that we missed that.
There are 2 Baz Draconians in the barracks.
Yeah, I told you that.
I know, but currently I had to walk all the way up. And
So the plan must be altered. We don't know where the key is. If we can't get the gate open, the army can't do anything. We're going to have to infiltrate this fortress. That's at least my thoughts. Anyone else have ideas?
Well, that makes sense.
we could find that key.
Where do we think it would even be? With everywhere you've been, my only thought would be that warden.
The warden or the man next to the gate?
Perhaps. But I believe we're not going to be able to do anything covertly. We need to thin their numbers. I can cast a new silence spell within this keep over here, and we can just start killing them, though silence won't be good for my spells any more than it will be for Phrixus or Laffy. We will be gimped. Perhaps we need to just hope that they don't hear us taking them out one at a time. Save myself some silence spells. Use them for other things.
Well, if you have a silence spell, you might be able to deal... Oh, I slipped into Eltwin. Might be able to deal with the ones in the barracks that are asleep without raising alarm.
True. Or we could be jumping the gun. It might be best to return to the army, let them know that we can't get the gate open, and make a different plan.
That could be wise, considering we've spent some of our resources to get this far.
It is true. If we go in now, we're risking a lot.
Do one more scouting mission to try to find the key before we return.
I believe that is the best conservative path.
Isn't the army literally 10 minutes behind us?
It is. We would need to warn them not to come.
Well, I think their warning to come, their signal to come was the gate opening, wasn't it?
Or combat breaking out.
Or
Like
come.
if an alarm is raised at the fort.
I do not want to put anyone in danger. So I will leave it up to you.
If we're going to call it off, we should do it quickly.
My vote is to call it off. What of all of you?
I would just lend caution that the longer we wait, the more higher and higher chance it is for the army to be detected. My concern is that while we bide more time, the army will come under attack.
So
Or worse,
your vote is to stay and find the key.
yes.
Laffy? Phrixus?
I personally think it would be wise to retreat for now. Come back stealthily again and try to find at least the key and
Yeah.
see if we can do something similar to what we've done here to get that key and go.
Alright. Sounds like 3 votes to 1. Let us go
Yes.
back to the army and inform them what is happening. And hopefully we can buy some more time before an assault takes place. How do we get out of this thing?
Well,
The
we're
rope.
going to have to throw the rope and then slide down it. Or climb down it. I guess we have knotted rope.
You can cast Pass Without a Trace again, Alafi?
Yeah.
Alright.
So the reverse of what we did to get here.
This is not a loss. This was a victory. We got out. We learned something. We're going to learn more. Let's go back with our heads.
Don't call it a victory yet. Let's get out first.
Small victories to make up a total one.
Stealth checks.
All right. Okay.
We have passed without a trace, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I still invisible?
No,
No.
because that passed without trace now. Those are both my spells, and they're both concentration.
Hey, Thrag, bumping up the average.
Super Thrag.
All right. So the rope goes down. Our party descends as quickly as they can, and they make their way away from Wheel Watch Post. No alarms are raised. No shouts are called out. You are able to slip away without detection. Able to rejoin the army just about 6 minutes away as they hide in the tree line. And I think that is where we will end our session for tonight as our players conclude their probing reconnaissance of the fortress and learning a critical bit of information that they need to find a fucking key to open the gate. And that is what we will do in our next session as our players try to figure out where the key is and how they're going to overcome the obstacle that is Wheelwatch Outpost and its strange, dragon-esque, stable denizen. And until next time, I will bid you all adieu, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.